Welcome back to the Wargaming Den. Another game of Kings of War for you this week. This week's game, my Ogres take on Gordon's Flying Circus, 2000 points, scenario is Raze. And let's have a look at my Ogre list. I've changed things up a bit this week. Still got the Goblin Scout Regiment with the Brew of Sharpness, Boomer Chariot Troop. I've got a Shooter Horde and a Boomer Horde. This week I've taken 3 Warrior Hordes. One's got the Healing Brew. First time I haven't taken the Siege Breakers. Still got Manny, Boomer Sergeant, Sergeant with the Crossbow, and Nom Nom. So 11 unit strength. Sorry, 11 units, 22 unit strength. And Gordon's Flying Circus is exactly the same as last week. 3 Pike Regiments, 3 Fanatic Regiments, a Shield Wall Regiment with a Scrying Gem, 3 Generals on Winged Beasts, 1 with the Blade of Slashing, 1's got the Mace of Crushing, 3 Wizards on Pegasi, 1 with the Veil of Shadows, and the Captain. 14 units, 27 unit strength. Let's have a look at deployment. Down here, I've got some warriors, I've got Manny, I've got the boomers, got a boomer sergeant, and just out of sight, I've got the goblin scouts, main force over here, warriors, shooters, sergeant, warriors, boomer tucked in behind, and Nom Nom. Gordon over here has some fanatics, fanatics, and pike again with a wizard. He's redeployed, so he's got 3 generals over here on Winged Beast. He's got 2 wizards. He's also got the shield wall, pike, fanatics, and the captain. So he's really weighed this side because he's got his 2 objectives there. I've got 1 there. There's a center one. My other 2 objectives are here. So really, I should have made sure I had enough forces to go this way and tried to hold there. I changed my plan halfway through and we'll see how that worked out for me. And here we have a shot of my warriors. I'm using the Reaper Bones Bugbears as my Ogre warriors, and I really like the miniatures. I don't use them enough. Should try and squeeze them into the army a bit more often. And a view down the human lines. As you can see here, these are the new fanatics that Gordon's just painted up. They're looking really nice. I think they're the Victrix Gauls by the looks of them. Gordon's main strike force. He's got all his flying models over here. There's one more, hasn't been deployed yet, and he's supporting them with pikes, fanatics, and the shield wall. Gordon's deployment. And the Ogres. The Ogres got the first turn. All I did was advanced the warriors and the shooters up here. Warriors advanced over here. Nom Nom came across, as did the Boomer Chariot, to support my force over here who advanced to the edge of the woods. And I did that because there was so many flyers over this side I wanted to reinforce. But as it turned out, I was already being drawn away from the objectives I should have been focusing on over there. Okay, turn 1, not much action from either side. The only damage that has occurred was 2 wizards fired at my warriors and did 1 wound. That's the 2 wizards on Pegasus there. Gordon's holding back his generals at present, and I'm probably doing a bit the same. And here we have the Ogres turn to boomers, advanced out of the woods, trying to tempt some of the flyers and also to get in range of the units here. I think I hit the pikes, advanced here. Nom Nom came across, double move from the Boomer Chariots onto the hill. Warriors advanced. My plan was to try and get round into a flanking position if I could. Kept the goblin chariots back there. As soon as I finished my move and started shooting with the boomers, I realized I had made a big mistake and that I should have brought them round here to contest this objective. I didn't realize, or I'd forgotten, one of the two, that in Raze the loot counters can be claimed from turn 2. So I left that loot counter completely wide open for a general. If I'd come down here about 22 inches away from those flyers, I would have been supporting my boomers better. And yeah, as soon as I started my shooting phase, realised I'd made a mistake. I hoped that Gordon wasn't going to spot it and capitalise on it. But Gordon being Gordon, he definitely spotted it.
And here we go. This is where I placed the Wolf Riders. My thought being that they could protect the rear of my units here. But what I really needed to do was to actually move up here. So they were going to be within 3, contest that objective, more than 20 away from the generals, and protecting the flank of the boomers as well. As soon as I started shooting, I realised I'd made a mistake there. Also, if I pulled them about an inch over this way, when the general did come in, I would have had a much clearer line of sight, and we'll explain what went on there in a minute.
And sure enough, Gordon's response. A general came screaming down here, moved as far as he could and pivoted. A wizard came and blocked the boomers. He advanced his infantry over here. Another general came flying over behind my troops here, got into my backline. Not happy about that. And he was about to cause all kinds of mischief. Gordon kind of backed off a wee bit here, just stayed out of my charge range, and I was quite happy with that. He was casting Veil of Shadows and things. I was just simply wanting, even with the hitting on 6s, the shooters to continue working away at these fanatics, hoping that I could chip them out in a turn or two, and then I'd be in a better position to attack with my warrior hordes. So yeah, the flyers are starting to make their presence felt. And here we have where the beginning of turn 3 or end of turn 2, where Gordon was sussing things out. We don't often disagree over rules, however, had a little bit of a disagreement over this particular situation. As you can see, my goblins here want to charge the general over here. Gordon's interpretation is that you need to go the most direct route, even if it's not the shortest route, and by not pivoting unless you absolutely have to. So that's this red line here. What actually happened though was, I think we must have moved the base slightly when we put these bases down to show what we're trying to do. Because actually, if I went in a straight line, I definitely went through this wood here, which made it a hindered charge. What I'd hoped was going to happen was the yellow line. So my plan had been, I start here, I do a slight pivot, and I charge to the shortest point of the enemy unit, which is here. So to me, that shortest direct route would have taken precedence. So I could see both sides of the argument. We went with Gordon's thoughts on it actually. So what that meant is that my goblin scouts were hindered. So they hit on a 4 again, and they lost their thunderous when they charged the flying general. So I did a lot less wounds, as you'll see.
Okay, turn 2. Flyers came in the generals using a wizard as a bit of chaff. Over here, lightning bolt missed my warriors. Another general has zoomed in behind my lines, as they want to do, and Gordon moved back slightly over here and cast Veil of Shadows again. So interesting. The flying generals are starting to make their presence felt. Turn 3 Ogres. I was forced to, had to attack the general. I had to just clip the wood, so hit on 4s, did 4 wounds to him, and Manny charged him and killed what was he? It was a wizard there. The boomers and the boomer sergeant took out the shield wall. A couple of units there. Didn't do enough damage to the general over here, who's about to come charging in on some nice flanks, and I just moved to try and get more of a flank position against his pike. So I'm thinking I'm about to see what cunning plan Gordon is up to.
So here we have the result. My scouts did about 4 wounds on the general, I think 3 or 4. Then in response, 2 flying generals, 1 in the front, 1 in the flank. There's 21 attacks hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s, so the scouts were no more. But wait, there's more. As you can see here, the fanatics have hit the boomer chariots in the flank as well. That doesn't look good. And just to add to my misery, another unit of fanatics charged the shooters in the front, and a general charged them in the flank. So the shooters were pretty quickly destroyed as well. Couldn't really block that. I tried to shoot the general with my shooters, my boomers, nom nom. Did a few wounds, not enough to waver or do anything. So that sealed the fate of the shooters. And as you can see here, the fanatics have charged around from here into the boomers. I was prepared to sacrifice them. We've got another wizard over here. Flyers in behind my lines here. So things are looking a wee bit dicey.
A very successful turn by the Kingdoms of Men. Nom Nom was taken out by the general there. No surprises. The warriors were taken out. 75 attacks on them. That didn't go well. Did manage to hold with those warriors, but I'm in a lot of trouble by the looks of things.
And sure enough, I lose the shooters, I lose the chariots, and I lose the goblin scouts that turn. So a very good turn from Gordon, and that one definitely set me back on the ropes a wee bit. Going to have to work hard to work my way back into the game from here. And at the end of Gordon's turn, so he's turned the fanatics to face my warriors here. He's just stayed put pretty much with the fanatics here. The generals advanced, and can't see what happened to the other flyers out of shot there. But yeah, very good turn from Gordon. I will need to work, as I said, to get back into it from here.
Couple of wounds shooting at the general there. Took out a pike, claimed an objective. Nom Nom, to everybody's surprise, killed some fanatics and has moved back and is about to get charged in the rear by someone over here. That's not going to be good. Charged into the pike, did a few wounds, held them up over here. My other warriors. 7 wounds, I think, on the fanatics, but 5 for their nerve test. So Gordon is about to take out my warriors as well. So on to Gordon's turn 4.
And just when it doesn't look like things can get much worse, how about 30 attacks of pikes, 30 attacks of fanatics, 15 attacks of another unit of fanatics into my warrior horde. The warriors couldn't deal with that many attacks and were destroyed. Whoops. Again, an example on not how to use your move after combat. Nom Nom, to everybody's surprise, actually killed a unit of fanatics here. Then he withdrew about 2 inches or 3 inches to get him in range of this objective. Thinking, my thoughts being, yes, he's going to be attacked from behind, but he's going to be at least contesting that. Dumb idea. I should have just stayed where I was and been facing the right direction, because 21 dice from a general in the rear of Nom Nom meant that Nom Nom got himself well and truly skewered, and the general claimed the objective token anyway. So that was a bit of a dumb move on my behalf. As you can see here, turn 4, there was lots of action. My shooters and my boomers, my boomers and my boomer sergeant, they were just shooting at this guy. He's pretty badly wounded. They're well out of position to contest any objectives now. It was more just, let's kill that guy, get ourselves some points back. Warriors and many killed unit of pike, I think it was over here. There's a captain that's fighting there as well. The general killed Nom Nom. I lost the warriors over here. My warriors charged the pike, did a few wounds because of ensnare. They didn't do as many as they would have otherwise, and the pike didn't really do. They might have done a couple back in return, so we're locked in combat there. But Gordon is well and truly controlling this part of the field. I've only got the sergeant really looking in any kind of position to try and grab a token, and he's not going to do much against 3 regiments, I wouldn't think. So another good turn for Gordon.
A very successful turn by the Kingdoms of Men. Nom Nom was taken out by the general there. No surprises. The warriors were taken out. 75 attacks on them. That didn't go well. Did manage to hold with those warriors, but I'm in a lot of trouble by the looks of things.
Turn 5, let the bloodletting continue. I managed to kill that general over there with the boomers, and the boomer sergeant came wandering over this way. Manny and the warriors charged the general who'd killed Nom Nom. Didn't even waver him. I think I rolled about a 4 for my nerve check, which was a bit frustrating because I wanted to kill him and then pivot so I could at least charge back over here and try and contest the center objective. The captain is over here. There's another flyer over here. The warriors managed to kill the pike unit, but they've got all these flyers they need to deal with. And much to my surprise, the sergeant actually killed a unit of fanatics, which was rather well done by him. But again, these objectives are well and truly blocked. Those are the 2 I'm after. I'm by an objective there, but I haven't got enough unit strength, and Gordon has claimed all 3 of his objectives.
Okay, we managed to get a couple of units, but too few, too late. Didn't kill the general there, unfortunately. Failed to waver him even. Not good for me, but the boomers managed to get the general. Unfortunately, though, too many humans controlling the objectives over there. I think Gordon probably has this.
And here we go, situation at the end of the turn. So I've lost units here. My warriors have been surrounded over here. The captain is attacking my warriors, and we've also got the general there.
Turn 5. Just the sergeant died over here. Gordon's blocking me from getting objectives over there. So the game is well and truly under control by the looks of things, but let's move on to turn 6.
Things have really slipped away from me here. The warriors are surrounded by flyers over here. They're not going to last much longer. The captain has been attacking my warriors. They had to turn to face the captain, which meant they couldn't come over here to contest. The boomer sergeant was running as fast as he could over this way, wasn't going to interfere, and my boomers were well and truly unable to do anything useful either. So Gordon's got the game pretty much won here. He's controlling the objectives. And a final shot at the end of turn 6. So Gordon's got the central objective. He's claimed all his loot counters. There's 2 here I've been able to get nowhere near because I got dragged far too far over here. Probably part of Gordon's plans, but keep your eye on the ball and the objectives you actually need to take. I should have continued to put more pressure on over here, more units, and try and hold there a bit more. I tried to contest too much and drag too many units over, as it turned out. But very well played by Gordon there. He used those flyers very well this game. There was no turn 7, so victory goes to the Kingdoms of Men 4-1. Very well played, Gordon. And there you have it. Tried a different army this time. Really quite liked using the warrior hordes. I like the miniatures I've got. I just don't use them often enough. I ended up coming over here to support this unit with too many units, and it meant that I dropped the ball over here well and truly. I was quite happy to have the shooters and the warriors just sniping away for a couple of turns, and my plan had been to go over there and grab those objectives turn 4 or 5 maybe. I felt that I had enough units to deal with those human regiments, but as it turned out, because I sent units over to support here, I got sucked in over here. The Goblin Scouts, I had them out of position. If I'd moved them an inch over to the left, then there wouldn't have been the dramas over there, and potentially they could have taken out that general on their charge. Wasn't to be, and from there Gordon was able to maneuver in behind and getting the other general coming in, tucking in behind my lines and then rolling up my shooters over here. Didn't help either, and that's why you really do need to be thinking ahead and looking at where those flying units are likely to be landing when you're planning your move. So it's quite a cool army. I like the way it plays for Gordon, because it is a bit like a game of chess. You've got the regiments that actually, the combination of Fanatic and Pike make it an effective assault force, but they're not that fast moving. It's all about setting up your generals to get into the positions to flank and support those charges when they're made. So there's a lot of setting up needs to happen to get in the right positions, and so I need to concentrate on shooting down those generals or engaging them quickly to prevent that from happening in future games. But Gordon played well. He capitalized on my mistakes. Not one of the Ogres' better days, I must admit, but definitely a lot of learning was to be had, and thoroughly enjoyed the game as always. So thank you very much, Gordon. Look forward to another report soon. So take care, everybody.